Boom, boom. There we go. Got the notification, and we are hot on the mics, guys. And for you guys watching us and seeing our face, we're hot on the camera too. I mean, I've spiffied up my beard just a tad bit, made it look a little full. There's a trick now. If you hair blow your beards from the bottom, makes it look more full. But we won't get into that. Anyways, how we doing today, guys? We're back with another episode of Count the Bucket. We've got our great guys here with us. As far as on Colorcast, you're not going to see the hosts that are here with us. You're just going to see my name on here. But CJ is with us today, and Nick is always with us. Guys, welcome back to another great night of basketball. I'm still sitting here watching the Miami and Atlanta game, which is a blowout, but we won't get into that yet. How we doing? Let's hear from y'all. How's your weekend been going first?
All weekend has been going great. My beard is not looking as good as yours, Michael. My mustache isn't looking as good. It's kind of rough right now. It's been a while since I've been to the barbershop, man. I gotta take time out of my schedule to get out there and get a fresh cut, man, because it's stressful whenever you can't look good out here like Michael. But besides that, I'm doing good. All right.
What about you, CJ?
Yeah, my weekend was good. I had a great time chilling with the fam. It's Memorial Day weekend's coming up next month, so then some stuff going on. So ready for the end of the spring, going into the summer. So but yeah, playoff time. I've really been locked in catching these games, so I can't wait to chop it up with you guys.
Good. Yeah, CJ and I have been on Spaces over the past few nights, really just chopping it up about basketball and everything. So we've been working.
Yes, sir.
Definitely start checking us out. I think they at least are going to try to start doing those spaces a lot more on that. Of course, we're getting to the end of the NBA season, but I think that's a great way where you guys can interact with us, and I love it. A lot of my times I'm closing at work or I just can't with my children, but I want to get on there with you. I'll try to start getting on there more if I can't, just to be a listener as well, because at work I at least put in headphones. But where else do we start in a night full of basketball than the Brooklyn falling apart Nets? What can we call this? I see CJ, as Nick said earlier, you're wearing the Knicks hat on. Like, you want to go ahead and start and talk about how bad this Nets team is playing right now?
It's been sad. That's probably the main adjective right now. Is sad. Just looking at down 0-3. I thought it was going to be a 7-game series, even though they were a 7 seed, but Steve Nash getting outcoached. That heavy isolation basketball between KD and Kyrie, it's just not working. It's just 15 versus 2 right now. That's what it looks like. And Ime Udoka and the Celtics, they've done a great job. They're a bad matchup. They have the wings to offset the things that Kyrie and KD like to do. And you got Al Horford in the middle. Robert Williams is back now. It's getting nasty. It's getting nasty, man. It looks like they show some life early in the game. And then it's just late in the game. They don't have enough to close. They're just not disciplined enough on both ends in order to win games and execute against a great team like this. And that's why they're struggling. Steve Nash just looks out of whack. Looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. I've called him Mike D'Antoni Jr. He coaches just like him. All offense, no defense. Wow. Tight rotate, playing 7-man, 8-man rotations that never help. You put Blake in. Blake gives you a little spark last night in the fourth quarter. He hadn't seen any minutes throughout the whole series prior to that. LaMarcus Aldridge, we still haven't seen him. So it's just it's a debacle from all three of those guys. And then KD, it's like the worst I've ever seen him play in a series, bar none. He looks small, even though he's tall. He looks small compared to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're just outmanning him. And then defensively too for the Nets, they're also small. They don't have enough guys out there to defend Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They call for a switch. Patty Mills is on an island. You already know what's going to happen. He's going to get destroyed. So it's a rough game. A rough series for the Brooklyn and the reports you got with Ben. His back is hurting him again. I put that in quotes for the color cast people.
Yes.
He has an injured back, allegedly. So he can't play. He can't play in Game 4, and it looks like they're going to get the brooms.
The brooms. Now, Nick, did we ever think that this would be a sweep with him saying the brooms? Did you really think that this could be where we're at right now?
Coming into the series, no, but I must say, after game 2, I was on Spaces with CJ, and I was like, I would not be surprised if this becomes a sweep because the Celtics defensively are locked in. They are giving KD hell. He can't get the ball in certain spots. He's not able to elevate. You know what I'm saying? They're putting big bodies on him and Jason Tatum, Grant Williams, and Jaylen Brown. There's just been no adjustment for this Brooklyn team, and you can tell in game 3 that KD's just kind of tapped out, honestly. I think he's figured out that, he can't really do nothing against this Celtic defense. I wish I would have saw more of an effort from him in that game 3 performance because, he only took 11 shots that entire game, that entire performance. But the Celtic defense is just too tough for them right now. And we're obviously seeing, but honestly, just looking at this Brooklyn team, they're just the way that they're constructed or the way that they're orchestrated, they're just not good. This team is just not good to me. And you can tell that Boston is just a better team and they have way more depth than Brooklyn has. Because, besides KD and Kyrie, there's really nobody else that can provide a lot of offense. We expected it from Seth Curry, but Seth Curry hasn't really done much. Patty Mills has been a no-show throughout most of the series. The only other guy has really been Bruce Brown. And Bruce Brown is obviously not enough. He's not that lethal offensively to where, he could take that pressure off of KD and Kyrie. So besides that, you're really getting a no-show from everybody else. And just looking at the Ben Simmons situation, I've seen everybody on the timeline just so upset about him missing game 4. Why? Why are we upset? They're down 3-0. They're not winning game. Or here's the thing: even if they do win game 4, they're gonna get blown out in game 5. But I expect them to lose game 4. I don't understand why people are upset about Ben Simmons missing the game. Everybody's calling him a punk. Everybody's calling him a coward. Why? You know what I'm saying? And look, I believe it's all BS with the back injury. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him. He just don't want to play because there's nothing to play for. But I'm also not mad at him not deciding not to play because they're really playing for nothing. Ben Simmons has been gone the entire year, and you guys want him to step up in a crucial game 4 when he has had 0 play time the entire year. So that's why I'm not even upset at him for missing the next game.
I would like to see him just because of the series and where it's win or go home now. So as a fan, I'd like to see him in the game. But at the same time, as a player, a former player, or as a coach too, there's no way that Ben could come into this game and actually be productive in any way, form, or fashion to make a big difference to win a game. Or we'll go as far as saying win the series. The dudes can't be completely in shape to be a NBA-ready shape. He's not shot a ball, which I guess technically it's been Simmons, so we don't have to worry about his shooting. So, I don't know why people are worried about it. I seen a tweet that somebody said that Ben Simmons was out until game 7 or maybe even game 8. Obviously, it was a parody, but I lost it on it. But, there's so much to talk about on this game. Even CJ talked about how Griffin came off the bench and gave a little bit of a spark, but by 3 trips, he was winded because he's not played that much. Yeah, he hit a 3 or 2, but at the same time, he can't maintain this level of play right now. Now, do I blame anyone on that other than him not being conditioned or the team not having him ready for that to be a spark? I don't know who the blame on that is.
But this is my thing with the whole Ben Simmons thing is what impact is everybody expecting him to make in this series? Even if he did come back in game 3, I'm not okay. Brooklyn will probably win a game, in my opinion. Brooklyn will probably win a game with Ben Simmons, but he doesn't change the whole dynamic of this Brooklyn team as far as beating Boston, because here's the thing, we know what he brings to the table defensively, and we know that he's a great floor general and he can dictate the offense and set the tone on that end of the floor. But here's the thing, when you got KD being triple team, you got Kyrie who's struggling to score, you need another offensive power player, and Ben Simmons is far from that, so he doesn't even make an impact as far as from that perspective. So Ben Simmons, I'm not saying that Ben Simmons coming back will not make an impact, but I think a lot of people believe that if Ben Simmons was playing right now, that it would change the whole dynamic of the series, which it would never happen, even if he did come back.
What do you think, CJ? I kind of feel like you made this.
Yeah, I don't think it would change the dynamic of the series because it's already 3-0. So I didn't see that happening. I just wanted to see, I guess, selfishly, how all 3 of those guys would play together collectively.
Mm-hmm.
But
does that not mess up the chemistry though, especially in the playoffs?
But as you said, he's not really a guy that needs the basketball. So he could kind of work off off of what KD and Kyrie like to do. Kind of do some, dribble handoffs, set a quick screen, get those guys
Makes
some better
sense.
looks on some shots, as opposed to just them starting at the top of the key all the way out. And then as soon as they're about to make their move, everybody loads up and then they take highly contested shots, which is what the Celtics have done. If they had more action, more ball movement, maybe that could shift the defense and then, maybe things could change. But there's no point in talking about that now because he's not going to play. And it's tough for me to see them win a game because of how they play. They don't have a winning playing style for the playoffs. That can win you games in the regular season. KD and Kyrie could, dance on everybody for, 65, 70 games in the regular season. But against a team like this, a team like Milwaukee, which is, have a defensive identity, it's going to be tough to stop those. It's going to be tough to score on those teams because of the wing depth that they have, the defense, the versatility. So, and then the rim protection with Giannis, a guy like Brook Lopez, and then for the Celtics side, Al Horford and Robert Williams. So, they're outmanned. They don't have enough depth from the wing position. They're getting outcoached. And then also their two stars aren't stepping up. So that's a recipe for a sweep. And I think that's why we're seeing it now.
If the Nets somehow blow out Boston in Game 4, I'm going to be so angry. I want this series to be over. And then on top of that, like let's say, for instance, KD drops like 39 in Game 4 and Kyrie drops 30. I'm going to be so mad because like we couldn't get this from y'all the first 3 games.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? Like they both scored 16 apiece in Game 3. They combined 8 for 30 shooting in Game 2. 2 crucial games that they needed to at least make this series competitive and interesting. And they decide to show up, whenever it's Game 4. So, but in my opinion, I'll be real. I think the Celtics win Game 4 by about 30. In my opinion, I think they win by about 30. I think the series is over. They're gonna want to get it over with. I think KD and Kyrie, they might have better games, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think the momentum is just already in the Celtics' favor in a huge way.
If they have some pride, they got to come out and play better. Because if they're the only team that gets swept in the first round, how would that look? Every other team has at least got 1 W. I thought the Nuggets were going to get swept tonight or this afternoon. They played with some heart. Those role guys stepped up. Jokic had a great game. We'll get into that, I'm sure. But if they get swept, they have to win this game tomorrow. I mean, I don't think they're going to win, but in their mind, they feel like they have to. So there's no way you go down and get swept, and every other team at least got 1 game. That would just look terrible.
Steve Nash got to go.
Of course.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not going to say the team, but the L team out west didn't make the playoffs. And, we thought that they would be in the playoffs or even the finals playoffs against this Nets team. So we didn't get the L team even in the playoffs. We've got Brooklyn that might be bounced first.
They probably would have got swept too. Hell, like let's just be real.
Yes.
This team that they have right now, I think absolutely they've been swept because they've been playing probably the Suns, if anything. And the Suns team just looks phenomenal from every position as this game's about to start. Pelicans, even though the Pelicans did steal 1 game. Listen, I'm not going to get into that one. Hell, I'm liking this Pelican team as far as the future.
They're good. They're really good.
But so how bad of a failure is this season for the Brooklyn Nets?
It's hard to really say that it's a failure. I mean, it is disappointing, but the Nets went through a lot this year.
But still, I understand that. But injuries, people not playing, half the season, Fat James Harden. It's still at the end of the year.
Fat James Harden.
In 20 years from now, we'll look back at this Nets team and say, Harden for a half a season, Kyrie, KD, and then Ben couldn't get it done. We won't pay attention to all the middle stuff that happened in the season. We'll just say they couldn't get it done. So, I mean, we'll take out all those tangible things that happened and look at it and be like, wow, this team had all this talent and they couldn't do a thing. Like, this has to be a bad team now, right? Like, I mean, did they fail? Like, did they do something different in this offseason? I don't think they do because Kyrie and KD want to play together, but, like, what else are they going to change?
Do whatever it takes. You got to switch up this whole entire team. You got to get rid of the coach. Steve Nash got to get out of there. You got to get more of a defensive-oriented coach, or just a coach with more experience. I think Steve Nash was just kind of put in a bad position because he's still a young coach, and he's got KD and Kyrie on his team. Those are 2 champions, so the pressure's already going to be there. So, unfortunately, he was put in a bad position, and he's really getting exposed right now in the playoffs because of it. So I think he needs to go. I think that KD and Kyrie need probably like a more veteran coach on their roster. And then on top of that, like you got to get better role players. I feel like you got to get rid of guys like Patty Mills, Blake Griffin got to go.
You think Patty Mills has to go?
I think so.
Because I think Patty Mills did really well this whole season with them.
Yeah, he was solid, but they need wings. They need some wings because KD and
Patty
Kyrie
Mills played
not
great when Kyrie wasn't there too. So I mean, that's a difference.
Exactly.
Blake Griffin got to go too.
Yeah.
Aldridge is old. I'm sorry. I love Aldridge, but he's getting old. He's got to go as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're going to have to get guys on the minimum because Kyrie's about to get the extension for what, 250 mil, something like that. You got to pay Bruce Brown. You got to give him like maybe 13, 14.
Yeah, you got to
annually. He's made a big impact on this team. Yeah, I agree with Nick. I think you got to go ahead. Start with the head coach. For me, I just don't see them winning the championship with Steve Nash as a head coach. I just don't see it. And yeah, you got to add some depth. Joe Harris should be back. Ben should be healthy going into next season. Still got Seth. I would get rid of Drummond.
Could you imagine Ben Simmons going into training camp next year saying that he still has back problems?
That's
crazy.
I don't even have words if that was.
I mean, if he's got back problems, his career's done in the NBA. I think. Like, if I'm Brooklyn, I don't even worry. I just say, no, you're off the team
because it's looking.
You gave up James Harden for a nobody. I mean, if he
but it's not like Harden's playing great over there in Philadelphia either.
Right? Yeah, he's playing awful.
Yeah,
I want to say I see on ESPN. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Stephen A, but I'm not for sure. It was saying that he thought
probably
was completely done. Like James Harden of old was gone. Like his Houston Rocket player, we would probably never see again. So I'm like, I mean, that's kind of bold, but I know these ESPN people and us, we've got to make some kind of bold statement sometimes. So, I mean, It kind of just tickles me a little bit, and that's weird to say, that what we thought beginning of the year was going to be automatically Brooklyn, automatically Lakers, and now fast forward so far, and we're like, man, these teams suck. They got to break something up. They got to change things. So, I mean, we don't know what we're talking about.
We just have to come to the conclusion that the rest of the NBA is just getting better, honestly.
Really
there's a lot of good teams that are out here that really have a chance. Phoenix has a chance. Denver, when they're healthy, they have a chance. Who else out east? You still got Milwaukee. Philly with Joel Embiid, they still have a pretty good chance, even though I don't really see them doing anything with Doc Rivers. Even young teams like Miami as well, Memphis is up there as well. So I mean, a lot of the other teams, they're getting better though, and it's like, I think we always look to those teams just because like Brooklyn and LA, because they have such superstar power.
Names. So are these super names starting to finally let Father Time catch up to them, and we're just still like name recognition on them, or what?
Yeah, it's just more parity in the NBA. That's what it is. I think 2015, 2016, everybody Warriors, Cavs. That's what we all just assume that's what it would be because like Nick said, like you also talked about, that's where the superstars are at. But now, these teams it's like a big two and then depth on the team. That's how teams are being constructed now, kind of like a throwback back in the 90s, 2000s. That's how it was. So it's much more parity. And if one guy goes down on these super teams, then you just look like an average team with a great player. So, you got to build your team the right way. You got to have the right foundation. And, we're starting to see some of these small market teams, like the teams that Nick talked about, do that. Build the right way. You got to get lucky and draft a guy like a Ja, like a Giannis. And then once you figure out, okay, we got a guy, now let's build around him the right way. Let's get the right coach in there, which is also a luck factor as well. Getting the right coach, it all has to, piece together properly.
I always say, and this is to like all of the viewers out there, like I don't care, like you could have like a big three, big four, whatever you name it, like you got to have a good coach, in my opinion. Like the coach sets the blueprint for everything. Because here's the thing, even in this Brooklyn series, like everybody was like, "Yo, like you know what I'm saying?" Like we all know that Ime Udoka is a better coach than Steve Nash, but everyone was saying, "Oh, they got KD and Kyrie, so that's why they're going to get out of the series." That's not showing right now. You know, Ime Udoka is by far out coaching Steve Nash, and we're seeing it basically on the defensive end, honestly. So it always comes back to coaching at the end of the day.
And then also, I mean, we assume that as well, but we're giving KD the I know Mike, you don't like that. We're giving him like that LeBron trait, you know. Oh, they got KD, so it's all good.
Okay with it with KD. I like KD.
Okay. but I just feel like you know, LeBron, you know, back in his prime, you know, we used to say that so, you know, easily. Oh, they got LeBron, so they're good. And you know, 8 times out of 10 when he went to 8 straight finals, you know, he did that. So KD is not this. It's different. It's a different player. It's a different player, different IQ when it comes to playmaking. So we can't just. I think it's humbling fans, casual fans, you know, experts like us. You know, we got to see. We got to look at it differently now. How we see the game. We can't just assume, oh, this team has player X and they're automatically going to be good. We got to look at the entire thing.
So,
facts.
I've got to ask you on this because you may have broken my heart a little bit. So, do you think that LeBron is better than KD?
No question.
Okay, you broke my heart.
Question. I mean, it's just speaking for itself. It's speaking for itself.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, I just feel like almost Kevin Durant is showing us that his body is kind of showing that he's his age. Like LeBron has just really been able to beat Father Time per se. Like 5-10 years ago, I would have taken KD before LeBron James hands down. That's just me. I just feel like a 7'1" guy with the wingspan he's got and the shot that he can create from outside, I would rather had him. Now, when LeBron first came into the league, I loved his pass-first mentality, his offense, what he would do on that. But then I just lost it when he went back to Cleveland for 2.0. So that's my hate on there. Now, with that saying, I just feel like really Kevin Durant, his bald spot showing a lot more. It's like, I mean, his age has caught up to him here, right, guys? I mean.
So I have a question for y'all. So which series do y'all think has been worse? This series for KD right now or LeBron in 2011 against Dallas?
LeBron 2011, no doubt.
Okay.
Just because of the expectations, the not 1, not
That's
2,
true.
not 3. Yeah, that I mean, and you go lay an egg like that.
But then again, like, you know, LeBron, at least he wasn't on the verge of getting swept. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that also plays a big factor too. So I mean, it's tough, honestly.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. But I just feel like situationally for LeBron and the expectations,
I can see that.
Yeah, I would have to go with that 2011 Miami team. But it's right there, man. It's right there.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. This team, to me, the Brooklyn Nets, first round swept when you have one of the arguably the MVP candidate through the whole season, you know, off and on, top 5 for a while. I mean, to me, this is tough to be a Brooklyn Net fan right now. I don't know. I don't know. I see your point with LeBron, and I don't want to ever take anything that he wins when it's a negativity towards him. So I'm going to go with that one as well. But this KD loss, I think it hurts. Now, again, if it's not a sweep, I definitely think it's more heavy towards LeBron, even if it's a 1-game win. Like
I hope it's a sweep. I really do.
I do too. I think I do too.
Yeah, because I want to see how they respond after getting swept next year. I want to see what their mentality is. That's why, like, I hope they get swept. I mean, that sounds crazy. Like you hope that they get swept, like when you say it like that. But I just want to see how they respond because that'll be adversity for KD and Kyrie. I want to see how they overcome.
But you know what's so crazy? I saw a tweet earlier this morning from Hooper Spot. Shout out to my guys. You know, they put up a tweet that said that, you know, Kyrie and KD, like, they're like, besides basketball, like, they're genuinely friends. So I feel like, you know, regardless of what happens, they're probably still gonna want to play together even throughout the years just because they have that type of relationship. So I don't know if, like, you know, they're still hungry for that ring or not, but it's like, you know, it seems like, you know, their relationship is like really super tight. So it's like, you know, regardless of what happens, you know, they're good at the end of the day.
Well,
yeah, I mean, if I'm a Nets front office, that I don't want to hear that because
That's true.
I'm paying like what, you know, 300 north of 300 mil in luxury tax trying to keep these guys together, and they're just going out the hoop and they're cool and no championship expectations because I got one or two already. If I'm Nets front office, I'm not trying to hear all that.
No,
that's the price you got to pay when you get those type of talented guys, though.
That's the last thing they probably want to hear for sure. But you're right though, Nick. We don't really know what their attitude is. They're 30 some year on.
I'm not saying that that they don't want to win. I'm not saying that they don't care. It's just that like regardless of if they win or not, they'll be good.
Right. They set for life. Let's just be honest. They both have rings, so yeah. It's not the end of the world if they don't win. Now, their name recognition as far as that in the books and everything, to me, it matters more with those championships. Because to me, Kyrie was a great player, but he never could do anything with that LeBron. KD was a great player that failed with Westbrook and Harden in OKC in a 3-1 series and then couldn't do anything by himself and only won because he had Steph Curry. So, to me, this is really his show of him being the top dog on the team to lead. So it's almost looking like Kevin Durant maybe can't lead his team to victory. And that hurt his legacy on that.
I think that's why they teamed up for that exact point you just said. One couldn't win without LeBron.
So we're questioning. So we're questioning KD's leadership now.
We always knew he was like a quiet leader. He's not really like a rah guy.
Because I'm trying to look back though. Like let's stay back to the OKC days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As
far as that leadership, I know a lot of people were like saying, "Oh, Westbrook took way more shots or whatever." Mm-hmm. I think KD was the leader then. I think that he set the tone for the rest of the guys.
I think so too, but it also fell apart.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think if that needed to work out, in order for that dynamic to work out, I feel like KD should have been more vocal back then about how he played.
Right, I agree with you, but I'm saying he's the leader. Like he was the best player. Like he was that leader. But
we don't say that about the Warriors though. We say Draymond is the leader and Steph is the best player.
You know what, CJ? Like you might have a point though, because I was listening to KD's podcast like a few weeks back, and like he told me that or he didn't tell me. Like he basically said that his mentality. I know KD
soon.
But he basically said that his mentality at OKC was I just wanted to hoop. Like, what I'm saying? Like, even like, for instance, like when the James Harden trade went down when he ended up going to Houston, it was like, I guess he didn't like really push the front office or anything or really ask questions. He was like, I'm just here to hoop. So whoever I play with, I'm just here to like play basketball.
Right. And that I will say, LeBron has always done great in. He's been ahead of any player ever. And you heard me say something good about LeBron. He's always been very adamant about being in the front office, I feel like, and trying to orchestrate what he wanted and being vocal on that. So, kudos to him on that. That's it. That's enough LeBron.
Enough LeBron.
But I don't know. We can't not talk about his leadership here, at least KD, right? Because it fell apart in OKC. Like, could you imagine if that team would have stayed together and could kept it gelled? James Harden, before he found carbs, Westbrook. That team would have been really unstoppable. We've got Ibaka, who's playing now 15 years later and still looks young.
I will say, like, they definitely had a chance when they played Miami in the finals, but apparently, according to Kendrick Perkins, James Harden was having way too much fun out in South Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing we know now, that sounds 100% accurate.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked out. I think it would have worked out, but the reason why, only reason why I'd be skeptical in that is Scott Brooks. Scott Brooks, average head coach. Billy Donovan too. That's why we're seeing the Bulls get dismantled right now. In Chicago, average head coach. They get outcoached all the time. I feel like Scott Brooks just gave Westbrook a leash to just do whatever he wanted to do, and it helped in some aspects, and then it also hurt them. When it came to being a point guard, more of a point guard than just a scorer, taking bad shots. He had the ultimate green light, even though he should have a green light, but it's in different spots. You should have that green light. They would have been talented, and of course, like Harden needed to leave because I don't think we would have saw the Harden in Houston. Yeah, right, exactly. We wouldn't have saw that Harden in Houston in Oklahoma City, I don't think. But it's crazy how it's all playing out. You see now why KD left. Look at Harden and Russ now.
Yeah.
They've been on how many teams in 5 years?
Yeah. But it just makes you think, though, because, he did win with Golden State. And, you said Draymond is the leader, the vocal leader of that group. It almost makes you wonder if Draymond wasn't on that team, would they have won those rings?
No,
of course not.
No. Like Draymond is the glue of that team. He's the heart and soul. Like Golden State isn't Golden State without Draymond Green.
Absolutely not. And maybe I hate to say it because I've always loved Kevin Durant, but maybe Kevin Durant's just a really good ball player, and that's it.
It's that, and then also, let's also give some love to the Celtics. I know the Nets got the stars.
We're gonna get there.
We have to.
Really good, man. Yeah, they're really good, bro. They're the way they're playing right now, and unison, that chain defense they got going. They're playing excellent basketball. I think them and the Bucks. That's a great series.
In my opinion, whoever comes out of that series is going to make the finals, and Boston has a really good chance of making it out of the East this year.
Until they meet Miami. Miami's going to beat them, but,
I don't know.
Miami is 15 strong. 15-player depth strong. We didn't have Kyle Lowry today, and we didn't miss a beat. We won by 20 points playing Atlanta.
If that is the conference finals, that's going to be a bloodbath, in my opinion, because, the Celtics lost to them in the bubble in 2020. In the conference finals, so there might be a little bit of animosity that comes to that as well. And plus, this is a different Boston team. Tatum is definitely elevated. Jaylen Brown is elevated. Marcus Smart, who just won Defensive Player of the Year, he's elevated. So the rest of the team is really elevated compared to that team 2 years ago.
So with you using the word elevated a lot, I want to know because it's going around on Twitter, even in our group chat there with Unwrapped Sports Network, that the team that LeBron beat.
Oh my God, I hate that.
I'm glad I'm getting into this.
I hate that tweet. I hate that tweet.
Let's get into this.
And it's the same players for Boston that just possibly may end up. I've got to knock my hand. Possibly may sweep Brooklyn and this stacked team. And a lot of people are saying, "Wow, LeBron's so much better because of this. LeBron carried this team with nobody, even though he still had Kevin Love, who was an all-star." But we won't get into all that. Go ahead, CJ. I've got my opinion on it, and I just want to hear
you go first, CJ.
Yeah, it's one of the laziest takes I've seen in a long time. No type of context. First off, he was a rookie. That was his rookie season. That was Brown.
Jaylen Brown was a 2-year. Yep. Smart wasn't like just Nick just said. Smart, and when you talk elevated, Smart wasn't the type of player that he is today. Back then, he was a really good player. Marcus Morris was there. It's just a different team. Horford was younger, but it's just Brad Stevens was the head coach, not the president. So we don't know how schemes and certain X's and O's from a basketball perspective, what that would look like, because it's Ime Udoka now. So it's just a 2K, plug and play type mindset, that people do on Twitter. To me, I think it's so lazy. It's lazy when you don't add context to it and you just see it to the naked eye. It's like, oh wow, LeBron.
Listen,
but
even in the picture that they share, that Boston team looks like they're grade school Boston players, and then you see the one
they showed the scoring leader. Yeah, exactly. They showed the scoring points for Tatum had 125 in 7 games. Tatum today is not getting 125 points.
But here's the thing,
series. No way.
Let's get into context of this. LeBron beat that team. Do people not remember that Boston was up 2-0 that series, and they were up 3-2 that series? So it's not like LeBron just beat this team casually. LeBron had issues against this young Boston team. Luckily, of course, having that game 7, with him, having the more experience compared to a younger Boston team, he was able to get that win. But we have to stop, here's the thing, that's why I cannot stand tweets like that, because there's really no context in it. It was like, oh, LeBron beat this same Celtics team. we all know that Celtics team is not the Celtics team that is today.
No,
it was a good team though. It was a really good team.
It was a really good team, and on top of that, they had a different coach. They had Brad Stevens around that time. Now they have Ime Udoka, so this is a different, and in my opinion, better Celtics team.
Well, I'm just going to say this, Brandon Ingram right now, they got a close-up camera on him during this game, and he looks like he is enjoying Earth Day again. Just saying. Just saying.
Yo.
He looks like he's...
Yo.
He does know it's April 24th, not April 20th, right?
Oh, my God.
Just throwing that out here.
He's hooping. But, yeah, that's a clout tweet. That's what I like to call a clout tweet. Just throw it out there for the likes. It's going to get likes. LeBron's tweeting on Twitter.
Yeah.
Every day it seems like.
And you know what's so crazy is like, I think I ended up replying to that tweet. Then I have these dumb comments replying to me. I'm like, I'm not responding to none of y'all. Like y'all are flat out insane.
Listen, I mean, I love everybody's opinion when it comes to basketball, but sometimes opinions are just strictly one way no matter what happens, and it's just like, okay, there's no way of fighting this. Like, there's no way actually having a discussion of what is really deserving on
it's
this.
all recency bias. It's just like now everybody's like, oh, I will pick Jason Tatum over Kevin Durant any day of the week.
Yeah, everybody, I mean,
Paul Pierce, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Paul Pierce coming out, yeah.
I mean, I love it. It's great stuff to talk about. But at the same time, I mean, I feel like this Boston team, let's be honest, January, February, we thought this team was horrible. Like, we thought they were going to have to blow it up and trade some of these players. So they finally believed in the system, changed some stuff up, made some hard growing pains.
Well, the thing about it is that we also have to remember, Jaylen Brown had missed like a good part of the first part of the year due to COVID, and I think he had a hamstring injury as well. So that also played a role in why Boston struggled. So I think once they got him back and they were healthy, that's when they kind of turned things around.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mark. He's not on the show right now. Celtics stan. I know he's happy right now, and we know why he's happy.
He better be happy. But yes, Lakers come back next year. I can't wait. That's from Christian, of course.
Lakers ain't doing nothing, bro. So I'm sorry, dog.
LeBron's a better player than KD. I thought they were talking about Boston.
I think we need to get into this series that's on right now, this Pelicans Sun series, because I'll be honest, I can see this going 7.
If the Pels get it done tonight, it's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible. Yes, I think so.
And right now, the first quarter is wrapping up. I don't know. My TV's usually lagged because I'm not saying I'm still in the internet or anything like that. But the Pelicans are up 25-20, and there's 14 seconds left in the quarter. The series is 2-1 for the Sun. So, yeah, this is a big game here. The Pelicans, when they added CJ McCollum, I really think that made them turn the corner a little bit. They got that veteran leadership that knows how to play by himself. Granted, he had Dame, but, a lot of times it was one-on-one with the way they played. So you could isolate him and let him do his thing and still get everybody involved. I like him, his leadership he's going to have, and we still ain't got 360-pound Zion on the team yet. So this team next year, this team could be deadly. Let's just be honest. Now, why do you really think it could go 7 games here, Nick?
This series between Phoenix and I think so. Honestly, like when you look at these first few games, I know that Devin Booker is out right now, but New Orleans has competed. And I think you got to give credit to the coaching of Willie Green, because I think he's done a terrific job. And plus, you got a guy like Brandon Ingram who has been looking like a star in this series. CJ McCollum and Ingram, to me, and here's the thing: like I said this once the trade went down, that those two could be a really good pairing, and we're seeing that right now. But then they got so much depth too. Like, what I'm saying, like Herb Jones has been terrific. Trey Murphy, Valanciunas, Jose Alvarado. So it's like, New Orleans has been competing throughout this entire series, really giving the Suns like a lot of a run for their money. I know that Chris Paul had a terrific showing in that fourth quarter of Game 3, but even then that was still a close game to begin with. So I think the Pelicans win this game and they tie it up at 2-2, and I could definitely see this going back to Phoenix in 7 games.
What about you, CJ?
This game is so important for New Orleans tonight, because I thought they had the game on Friday. I thought they had it. It was right there, even though Chris Paul Chris Paul started going off. It was just that little, a couple minutes there where Chris Paul was going off, but Ingram and McCollum just couldn't seem to find their shot, and he kind of just took over, and it was over by then. It wasn't enough. They need this win tonight. They need this win. They need Jackson Hayes to not play football, stop trucking Jay Crowder. He could be ejected from the game. They need Valanciunas to play better as well offensively. First 2 games, he played really well. Had a double, crashing the glass. Game 3 was kind of he was a ghost out there. So, they need this dub. We know what McCollum and Ingram do. They had 30 apiece on Friday. So we know what they could bring to the table. But it's going to be those other guys that's going to have to step up. I completely agree. I think their potential is very high. As soon as you add Zion there as well, it's going to be tough to stop this team.
Oh, yeah. Of course, Christian says New Orleans is the worst sports city on the planet and deserves 0 love.
Wow.
Wild take.
That's tough, but you know what? That's what we like to hear anyways, at least the wild takes.
You could have said L.A. It's fine.
Now, let's go ahead and I want to ask you all this while we're on this because I do think this is a big game. I think if the Suns win it, I think the Suns in it 4-1. I know that's kind of crazy to say. I think they have the momentum and just can close it on out. But I do see how if Pelicans win this, it can go farther like that, very tight. But I want to look at Pelicans a little bit further for next year, which I love Valanciunas. He's a big body who I think if he plays well can totally give Ayton a run for his money on here. But next year, Pelicans or Lakers, who's the better team?
I gotta go to New Orleans. I gotta see New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this, man. I can't do this.
I mean, do you think – I guess what I'm really getting at, do you think the Lakers will actually make an improvement where that they can even compete with Pelicans? Because Pelicans, I think, beat them, swept them this year, I think.
If the Lakers get rid of Russ, I can definitely see them making improvements this year. I think that Russ got to go, in my opinion.
Who's their head coach?
That's true. That's true. I forgot about that. But here's the thing, though. Like, are we really banking on like Zion coming back and making like that big of an impact like that? Like, obviously, we know like when he's healthy, he can dominate. He averaged 27 a game on like 62% shooting in his sophomore year, but his availability has not been there. So it's like, how much are we banking on that?
Okay, me personally, I don't have to.
You say the same thing for AD.
That's true. That is true.
Like, Zion doesn't really have to do that much now that you got CJ. I think that took the pressure off. I mean, look, right now you're in a game where you can tie the series up against the best team in the Western Conference without, quote unquote, your best player that hasn't played all year. You add him to do something that just takes one of the players that's in that starting lineup off. That has to improve that team much better. Like, I mean, I know we talked about Ben not making much of a presence in that one game because it's just one game. But you add someone for a whole year, I mean, on this team that's already took one game from the Suns that I think barely lost double-digit games all year. This team's going to be nice next year.
Oh, yeah, they will, without question.
I mean, really, with this team, Zion could average 20 and 10 with some assists, and they would improve dramatically, I think.
Of course.
So, I mean,
absolutely.
I don't think they have to do really too much. Plus, they got the Lakers pick?
I think so. I think
the lottery pick. Yep.
Yeah, from the AD trade. Yeah.
So
next 2 years,
Lakers are screwed, dog. They are screwed.
They gonna get a young player, top 10. I'm gonna say top 15 just to be safe. Added to this roster with Zion added to this roster next year. They could flip that and get another good player. Yeah, I mean, make a trade or something.
Yeah.
Do something with what you got, get another veteran, or even trade down to get a higher pick with some veterans trade. I don't know. Because I don't know exactly who this lineup is, but who do y'all think would be on the bench when Zion comes back?
Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes would be there. Jose Alvarado. Obviously Herb Jones.
Okay. So
no, because CJ is the point guard now. So it's CJ, Herb, BI.
What about Devontae Graham?
But Devontae Graham comes off the bench. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He'd be coming off the bench. Yeah, they got CJ at the 1, Herb at the 2.
Najee Marshall's a really good player.
Yeah, he's a really good player. Trey Murphy, like you said also earlier, coming off the bench. I mean, you just go from organization, go from the front office down. I mean, you got Rob Pelinka, David Griffin. I mean, they both have a championship, but I mean, look at what David Griffin has done with the Pelicans, and then look at what Rob Pelinka is doing after the championship with the Lakers. It's a dumpster fire. So, of course, they have the stars, but they're not. I'm not even focused on that.
We might be going into dangerous territory because we might get too caught up in this Laker talk, man. I don't know why it just keeps happening.
So I'm looking at the roster here. Okay, no, they just got Valanciunas and Hayes in at the same time. So their starters looks like it was Snell, Nance, Hayes, Jones.
Ooh, that's a nice dunk.
And I would say Ingram, but that doesn't show that here. So I mean, even having Nance there too. I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah, he's solid.
Larry Nance is really good. I like him on this team.
I do too.
He was on that Cavs team. That 2018 Cavs team.
2018, yeah.
So, I mean, do you think Hayes could be another player for another team that might be interested with a trade of some sort?
I can see that.
I don't think it would be a trade that would move them up any, but just
Yeah, I'd have to see how how that play out. He's a good player. He's kind of like he's like JaVale McGee, kind of like runs the rim runner. Mm. He's not as great defensively as JaVale. He can improve in that aspect, but he's solid. But either way, I think if Zion is healthy and that core 3 right there, and Herb Jones could be like a McCall Bridges type, 3-and-D guy. They're going to be good.
Wow. Sorry. So Christian said Zion's knees got more damage than Zeke Elliott somehow. Then he goes on to say that healthy AD and LeBron with Buddy Hield and Brogg stops the league on notice. Larry is poo. Come on now.
I think we got I think what I'm saying, like we get it, like the Lakers got LeBron and AD, but it's like I mentioned earlier, like the rest of the league is getting better. So it's like even when you have guys like that, it doesn't necessarily make them automatic title contenders, in my opinion.
It's come to a point just flat out it's name recognition. Like you just see that and you think they're going to be top.
Yeah, LeBron doesn't have the magic anymore carrying teams to the finals. Not in this conference. No. Even not in the Eastern Conference either, as it stands today. No way. Like he wouldn't have been able to do that.
Not like could you imagine LeBron on the Cavs now in 2022 going up against Giannis in the Bucks, going up against Embiid in the Sixers, going up against
wow, I want to see
Celtics, yeah. Even Miami.
LeBron Giannis matchup.
LeBron Giannis matchup?
I think that would be actually really fun to watch. Because to me, that would be.
If we're talking about today, oh yeah, Giannis is cooking them. I'm sorry, Giannis is
LeBron be like, "Oh, yeah, there's a fan yelling at me. We've got to stop, get somebody kicked out here."
Speaking of that, we might have to transition to that Milwaukee Chicago series. We might have to
what is going on with that? Like, I don't know, because I've seen what is this? The third time someone's tried to protest on something. Like there has been a lady chained to the goal.
Oh, that was in Minnesota.
Okay, that was in Minnesota.
Yeah,
there was a lady that ran onto the court in a game now.
Tried to glue her hand to the
What was she trying to do?
She was trying to glue her hand to the court.
Okay, but it looked like she had a referee shirt on underneath, didn't she?
The one last night?
I didn't pay much attention.
Okay. See, there's been so many. I can't keep up with them. And what are all these protests like? Not to get me wrong here, but usually you hear what's the protest going on, a little bit of a platform going on here. But it's just hey, no, there's nothing going on here. There's just people are getting tackled. To me, and I'm not going to be I'm a conspiracy here, but the lady that got tackled by the guard that was sitting right next to her, I mean, that to me was a little suspicious. I thought it's
you got to be an idiot. You got to be an idiot. Like those seats right now, the players are probably $800-$900, bro. I'm not about to risk my courtside seat to go up on the court.
So, do you think that was staged any whatsoever? Because that security guard was even looking at her before she took off.
They might have had an idea. I don't know if it was staged, but the security guards might have had an idea that something like that might have happened. I don't know.
So there's like a protest group going on right now that's against the Minnesota Timberwolves owner Glenn Taylor, something regarding animals or something like that. And there's this group that's against him, and they're trying to protest all the Minnesota games. That's where you see the Timberwolves games. That's where they always seem to have the antics. I agree. I mean, you're gonna protest the Timberwolves, but then pay $1,000 for a high profile seat. You're just giving him money. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know.
Some people's brains just don't work sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to protest. Before I protest, let me spend $1,000 for this ticket to go to jail.
It's insane.
Then you got to bail yourself out.
Yeah. Someone's got to bail me. PETA, help me out here. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Christian said in the Colorcast, to his knowledge, the owners of Memphis and former owners of Minnesota used to invest in some shady stuff. That's all he said. So,
yeah,
it's just been crazy. Like, I've not seen this in I don't think I've ever seen anything like this constantly, like just a game after game where some type of protest is trying to go on. Someone trying to chain themselves to the basketball goal or get onto the court. I don't know what's going on here. Like, I think back to the Super Bowl a couple years ago where the guy made the bet saying that I bet $300,000. I think he had to bet $3,000 and he could win up to $300,000 that someone would go streaking on the football field during the Super Bowl. So he got his best friend to go run out on the field and get caught, and then he took off and streaked onto the field, and he ended up winning $300,000 because he was the one that streaked. So, like that stuff's hilarious, but to like protest on this, you don't really hear much of that. I just think.
Wasn't there a streaker earlier this season? I think there was in the NBA.
The NBA might have been. I think
there was. Actually, yeah, it was. I think it was in Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I must have missed that.
So.
People are wild, man. People are wild.
You see, Jay, you telling me you never went streaking?
Nah, not at all.
DJ,
not at all, brother.
My mama raised me right, bro.
Sure. Raised me right too, boys. But we done some dumb things, didn't we?
Oh yeah,
of course. Nothing to that level. Nothing to that level.
No, I ain't never been streaking. That's just dumb stuff right there.
I mean, I don't care how much money you give me, bro. Like, ain't no way.
I mean, it never made sense to me to go streaking anyways, because one, if you get caught, they're going to cuff you naked. Like, what are you supposed to be doing there? Like,
it's probably cold too, bro. You ain't got no clothes on. It's cold.
No. Yeah, it's always going to be cold if I'm streaking. That's all I'm going to say there. But, all right, let's move on to the next game. Let's see here. Oh, that's not the right thing.
Do we want to talk about the Minnesota-Memphis series? Because, I mean, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Let's see here. The game was yesterday.
So this is my take on the series. It's both teams are young. Because I'll be real, both teams aren't really playing that well this series, in my opinion. Like, Memphis, even though they went up 2-1 after that collapse by Minnesota Game 3, John Morant hasn't really played that well this series. I feel like the most consistent player probably has been Desmond Bane, honestly, if you want to say. So Memphis hasn't really established themselves. Minnesota obviously hasn't as well. Cat, being inconsistent. Cat went off in Game 4. Game 3, he was a no-show. We didn't know where he was, which is crazy to me.
That's why he went off in 5 or 4.
Exactly.
He was
but this is another series that I believe can go 7, honestly.
Well, it's tied 2-2 right now. Last night ended 119-118 in favor of Timberwolves. Cat, I think, did he have like 35 points? I think it was something like that. He hit a bunch of threes.
Like 33, I think.
33. Yeah. Okay, so I think the momentum is to the Timberwolves at the moment. I thought it was crazy, though, after the Timberwolves celebrated like they won the championship, winning a play-in game. I didn't think they'd have a chance of winning this just because of the way they were celebrating. But they've narrowed it or tied it right back up 2-2. So I think it's. I mean, obviously, it's a pivotal moment on this next game. I feel the next team wins next game wins the series.
Yeah, that's mostly how it is when it's 2-2 and you go into Game 5.
Yeah,
I can see that. I was trying to drop that like I knew some intel there. Like I was like, that's my prediction, but that's usually how it goes.
I'm just speaking from experience, man. I'm just speaking from experience. My bad, CJ.
No, you're good, bro. I feel the same way. Like you said, 2 young teams. I know Minnesota, they got to be kicking themselves because they had that one on, I think, Tuesday, up 3-1. It would have been up 3-1 had they got it done, but it's looking bad. It's looking, I mean, not bad. It's looking good. It's looking good for both teams. And I don't know. Ja has to step up. Ja has to have a big game in Memphis if they want to, get the lead.
Oh my God! I saw a tweet. I think it was yesterday. It was a video of like the Countdown crew: Stephen A, Jalen Rose, and Michael Wilbon. And Michael Wilbon literally said that Ja was like a factor defensively, or like a big stopper defensively. And I'm like, I love Ja Morant, but I don't know where you got that from, bro. Yeah. I don't know where you got that from. Like, Ja Morant's not an elite defender. I'm not saying that Ja Morant can't get stops, but Ja Morant's not an elite defender. I'll tell you that much. And I love Ja. That's one of my favorite players today.
Yeah, you know they don't watch basketball, bro.
Yeah.
You know, their producers give them everything to talk about. No, they don't watch basketball.
That's what they do. Nice. Get JJ Redick on that show, bro. Because he is cooking up.
Yeah, he was on there like I think yesterday. He was pretty solid. He was pretty solid, but better than Wilbon, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't talk bad about Wilbon though.
He's cool.
PTI.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, he's a legend. I used to watch PTI growing up.
Yes, sir.
PTI is one of the best, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser, man. Big part of my childhood.
Word.
I always would crack up when they got them. I never understood why he did the Canadian flag for the longest time. I'm like, come on, man. Then I finally figured it out because I was dumb. But just to update real quick. Pelicans only up by 4 now, 39-35. Never mind. It's 41-35. Pelicans score right there. 7 minutes go in the second quarter here.
Yeah, your TV's definitely behind.
Need another big game from DeAndre Ayton. He has to play like this for the whole series, man. Can't just have one game.
So this is my thing with Phoenix is, you know, even though I do believe that they can get out of this series, in my opinion, the next round they're probably gonna, or hopefully, in my opinion, they're gonna face Dallas. And who knows? Hopefully, I'm hoping so. Oh my God! But it's like, who knows when Devin Booker's gonna come back? I don't know. Like the time there, I think they said like 2 to 3 weeks per se. So let's say, for instance, he misses like the start of the series, like the first like 2 or 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Can you possibly see Dallas, who just got Luka back? And Luka, to me, looks pretty good. I mean, he had like 30 points yesterday, so obviously he's going to continue to get better as the series progresses. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt anymore. Do you possibly see like this Luka-led Mavericks possibly having an advantage over Phoenix in the next round?
I think a Bookerless, yes. It depends on how far Booker will be out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course, Chris Paul, I think, is magnificent for him, though. But I don't know. Hamstring. Okay, it's just actually talking about that right here. Hamstring out for 2 to 3 weeks for Devin Booker. Mavs to upset Suns. Column says Luka. I mean, Luka's looking really good, especially the playoff right now. I think he's got a lot to prove without Porzingis there, and I think he's looking to make noise. So I could see it. I don't want to believe it because my Suns are going to the finals. What do you think, CJ?
I think
they're going where?
Suns are going to the finals.
It's a good matchup between them and Golden State. If everything perfect world, that's a great matchup to see who goes to the finals. But without Booker, I would favor the Mavs, but I wouldn't. Let's see. I want to see how the Mavs play tomorrow against Utah, because I think for me, towards the end of that game was a little bit too much Luka ISO, and Jalen Brunson didn't really get to get it going. Like in the third quarter in that game, I want to see him move the ball a little bit, get some of those other guys the rock. So. Yeah, I need to see how they play tomorrow in Dallas before I make a big prediction. But I think they should get it done because I just think Utah. I'll say this: in Game 4, their perimeter defense was much better. It was much better. Gobert stayed home. He didn't automatically collapse to the paint.
Uh-huh.
So I think Dallas Dallas, they have to get it done tomorrow, no question. But if they don't have Booker, then yeah, I would fit. I think Dallas could get it done, but if not, I got the Suns, man. I think it's going to be Suns Warriors in the Western Conference Finals.
I can see that.
Caleb says Mavs and 6, Jazz are frauds. Yeah, I mean,
yes. I'm ready to see Jazz. I'm ready to see Jazz just break it up, dog. I'm so ready to see them like change everything up. You got to get rid of one of the other, Gobert or Donovan Mitchell.
I get rid of them both and start fresh.
I don't. To me, like everybody's talking about. We talked about this a little bit last week. Like Mitchell to the Knicks, and because Stephen A. just says it, and it becomes gospel, I guess. But I'm not the biggest. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I was a few years ago, but for me, is Mitchell and Randall winning a championship? Absolutely.
Oh, hell no.
That's two of the most inefficient. That's the most inefficient scoring duo in the NBA, no question. Then you got Tom Thibodeau coaching. That's a nasty combination. So I'm not a big fan of it. He's not a great defender. He's a good scorer. So is
Tim staying after this year?
Yeah, it's looking like it. Unfortunately, it's gonna set us another year back. It's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough.
Listen, if you keep up with baseball, I'm right there with you as a Reds fan. Okay, so Cincinnati is horrible, so you're all right. Oh, you're not alone. I won't say
you guys have this picture. I forgot his name. I've been seeing his name around.
Hunter Green.
Hunter Green, yeah. He's supposed to be.
I don't throw some gas.
Throw some gas. Yeah, I heard about him a little bit.
Yeah, but
jeez.
Where do you? Let's just go ahead. Who cares? We're already in now. Where do you think Mitchell could go if Jazz ends up blowing it up? You don't think Knicks at all?
I pray no. I like Miami.
Miami might be a good destination.
Yeah, Miami's a good spot.
My only thing with Miami is, like, who are they going to lose, though? Like, again, we're 15 deep. Like, Spoles has said that. Where are we going to lose? Like, Oladipo actually played today.
Oh, my God. Oh, I bet they're showing Zion on the screen getting warm-ups and stuff.
360, ain't he?
He does look. He's looking up there.
He's not talking about the dunk either.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh yeah. He's on here now. He ain't sweating because he's warming up. He's sweating because he just ate the Subway.
That's a big kid, bro. Damn.
He can still get up though.
But see, look at those numbers though. That's wild though.
It is.
Yeah, 61% shooting is crazy. 27 and 7 on 61 is crazy, bro.
Let's be honest.
His free throws, that's 30 easy.
Okay, now it's showing the numbers on my end. Let's be honest though. If he was to play football, he would be on the line.
Oh,
of course.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. You wouldn't have to be the worst coach if he didn't. Like, I'm sorry.
Could you imagine Zion being out there at wide receiver because he can jump out of a gym or out of a stadium? I guess.
I'm not trying to block him. I'll tell you that much.
No, running back. There you go.
You're not putting me out there.
No way.
Oh, Crowder just got clobbered, didn't he?
But back to the Mitchell conversation. Like it's insane though because you would think like if they had to choose one or the other, it's obviously Mitchell, but you're not going to attract any free agents because nobody wants to go to Utah. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, like, who are you going to really trade for? Like, what I'm saying? Nobody's really going to want Conley. Nobody's really going to want. I don't know if you could trade a guy like Royce O'Neal. I don't know if you can trade, or you could probably. I don't even know if they'll be willing to trade Clarkson. So it's like it's like they will kind of be stuck in the same situation, even if they did trade Gobert and get somebody like Miles Turner in return.
I think they trade for picks. I mean, they're just going to have to rebuild. That's the only thing they can do. Like, they're a small market team that nobody's going to want to come to Utah to a solid lake. Like, who wants to go to that? And they're just going to have to build from the ground back up. Like,
Utah,
you got what you got because of draft picks and scouting and everything. To me, use the G League as much as you can. Take risk. If you see a guy that has 50 points one game, hey, sign him and see how he does. But to me, get rid of everybody, get as many draft picks you can, and go from there. Heck, I don't know. Maybe trade for Westbrook. He sell tickets at least.
Remember him and Utah. They don't mix.
Yeah, him and Utah is not a good combination.
That's true.
We were actually talking about that in my spaces the other night, and I was like, probably not. And plus, I mean, him, like honestly, like Russ, like say for instance, like they did pair Russ and Mitchell, that wouldn't be a good fit.
Oh my God. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Portland maybe, but it'd be like a CJ Dame again. So I don't really think that really goes anywhere farther than that. San Antonio.
For Utah, San Antonio. No, it's looking bad for us right now, man. Not gonna hold you.
No, I was talking about Mitchell, but still.
Oh, for Mitchell. Oh yeah, for Mitchell, it's like he could go. Yeah, I think Miami's the best spot. I mean, I really don't see it. I mean, I don't see another team out there. Unfortunately, like you said, for Utah, they're a small market. They're gonna need a generational type player to come in.
So
for them to keep that franchise around.
I don't know
he's good, but he's not that.
I don't know if this would happen, but could we see like a possible duo of Mitchell and Dame in Portland?
Well, I said that just 2 minutes ago.
Oh, did you?
Okay, Mitchell and Dame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did y'all think I meant Westbrook and Dame? No. No, I meant Mitchell. I said that it would be pretty much the same as CJ and Dame, what we saw with Mitchell. No, I definitely wouldn't say Westbrook and CJ are the same players because CJ can actually shoot a three. So
yeah.
I was talking about Mitchell there. I mean, I could see it, but I don't think – I mean, what would you be expecting anything different than what you already had, you know?
I don't see that big of a difference. Like you said, it's the same thing.
Yeah, Miami just might be the best destination at this point. But the thing about it is, like, you know, what do you trade for him, though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you trade?
Because I don't think they get rid of Hero. I mean, he's a 6 man of the year.
They can't get rid of unless you want to get rid of a guy like Strus or Gabe Vincent.
They're gonna ask for Tyler.
Do you think they would get rid of Duncan Robinson and move Tyler Hero into the starting lineup there?
No, they're gonna want Tyler. Michael will tell you, bro.
Yeah, they probably
there's
will.
There's no way they're trading Donovan and then if Pat Riley finesses them and fleeces them like that, they have Mitchell and Hero. They should just franchise. Get rid of the franchise after that.
Because I mean, you've got Lowry, you've got Oladipo, you've got Strus, you've got Robinson, Tyler Hero, you got Vincent. I mean, they're guard heavy, really.
Yeah.
So I mean,
they are.
They could pair some of those to trade off. Maybe I got it. Let's trade some of our guards over to LA and get Anthony Davis to Miami.
Whoa. Okay.
Anthony Davis to Miami.
that was a different one. I didn't expect that.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Except for the hospital.
If that's what you want as a Heat fan.
No. I mean, I'd love it just because it's Anthony Davis, but I also don't want him to play every other game because
you guys got Bam, so I mean you guys are fine.
Yeah.
What about DC? I mean, you get Porzingis, Kuz, get some of those guys out of there, some picks.
So you want a combination of Mitchell and Beal?
Yeah, it's kind of like Portland East
on the East Coast.
Yeah. But you know, I think it'd be exciting to watch. He's in a tough spot either way. It's a lot of really good guards in the NBA. It's a lot of teams that really don't need a premier guard like that.
That's true.
He's in a rough spot.
It's tough.
It is tough.
Obviously not sure. Maybe Pacers could use him. Maybe
Pacers are in rebuild mode.
Yeah, but he's a player to rebuild with. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, I don't know if Indy has any trade assets unless you want to send Buddy Hield to Utah.
Right. Buddy Hield, where has he not played?
I mean, he played in Sacramento for all those years, and then he went to and then he just got traded to Indy. He barely played any in New Orleans. He got drafted by them, but barely played.
Yep.
He ended up getting shipped out in that DeMarcus Cousins trade.
Yeah, everybody's tying him to the L team, as Michael calls it. But we'll see. What do you think about this that winning for Denver today?
Listen, I didn't get to watch it, but I was watching it on my Bleacher Report, kind of giving me the run-in score on there. I thought Denver had it down completely. Theirs old dude was dancing on one of the highlights I seen on Bleacher Report. It's like, okay, they're feeling it. The next thing I know, Golden State came back and took the lead, and I was like, oh wow, did they really just blow this game? But somehow they came back. Can y'all fill me in? I didn't get to watch to see what happened at the end. I think was it Draymond fouled out?
Yep.
And
I actually took a nap, so I didn't even watch the game, and I don't even want to watch it, to be honest.
Took
But-
a team.
It was a good game. It was a close game. Clay was going off. Like you said, Bones Highland, he definitely brought the energy tonight. Yeah, he was dancing with Monty Morris. That's the clip that you were talking about.
But honestly, I mean, this is the Warriors formula, man. Like, and it makes me so mad because anytime we go up 3-0, we can't capitalize the sweep. It all starts back from the conference finals in 2015 when we played Houston. We were up 3-0 and we were blowing them out every game. Then all of a sudden, Game 4, Houston, James Harden, Dwight Howard, and those guys catch fire. And now next thing you know, we lose by 20. Then what year was that? 2017 when we first got KD. We were up 3-0 against the Cavs, killing them. Then in Game 4, they blow us out. And it's just like, I don't know, like this team just anytime they go up 3-0, they have that momentum for most of the season. Then all of a sudden, at Game 4, they just can't seal the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I still expected to win Game 5, but it's like, it would have been nice to get an extra few days of rest.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts. But Denver, their role players stepped up. Aaron Gordon had 20. Highland had 17. Monty Morris had 20. So those other guys finally stepped up and helped Jokic. Jokic had 37. I think 14 and 6, something like that. Draymond getting fouled out those last 3 minutes really hurt them at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And Jokic made a great play off the roll, kicking it out to Will Barton for the dagger. That pretty much sealed it. But I agree with Nick. I think they get it done. Warriors get it done in Game 5. The Nuggets, they don't play enough. They don't play enough defense. They played all right this game. Like they were staying up high on the screen. They weren't letting Steph just get easy shots and go under the screen. But still, it was like 120 something to 126 to 121.
21, yeah.
Now, on a Colorcast, Christian here said this trade. I kind of actually like it for just what's been going on. So he put send Jamal Murray and 2 picks, 2 firsts he put for Dame. I like it just because we don't really know how Jamal Murray is going to come back. And Portland would be completely in rebuild, and Denver does get someone. But I was actually, as we were talking, thinking, what if Mitchell went to Denver? Because Jamal Murray's been hurt for a year and a half now. Who knows what he's going to be like? What do you think about those 2 trades?
I don't see him happening.
It's tough for me to see that. Only way is if Murray is just like he just doesn't want to be in Denver. Mm-hmm. But I doubt that. And then you said Mitchell and Mitchell going to. You said Mitchell going to Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I don't see that one.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
see it, man. I don't see. I like Murray and Jokic. I think and of course Denver. They're thinking they were in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago when those guys were healthy. So there's no need to break it up.
Of course, now he says, mind you, Denver's owners own the Rams as well. So of course that's why he loves Denver. Then.
Okay.
Yeah. But then Colin mentioned Mitchell and Luka together would be saucy. That's what he put.
Mitchell and Luka?
That's a different one. Okay. I
like that one. If you can't, join them.
That's right. Yeah. What
KD, yeah, right. That's crazy.
They got him a ring. I mean, that would be nice, I think. We haven't seen Luka with another guard that superstar level, so I don't know how well that would work. I mean, we've only seen with Porzingis, and we didn't see how that worked. I do like that a little bit. I'd be interested to see how that panned out. Let's see here. Do you think Denver comes back at all, makes this a series?
No.
Nah.
I was really surprised that they even won this game, to be truthful. I just don't think they got a chance on this.
Yeah, they played their heart outs tonight. Like I said, the role players stepped up. All those other guys stepped up around Jokic. But I don't see them getting one on the road. I'd be shocked.
Right,
if they do, I'm going to be so mad. I'm sorry.
Same thing. What you think about for Miami and
I was going to say Miami and Hawks. Miami up 110 to 86. Now take a commanding lead. I'm going to use the words commanding 3-1 series lead here.
They're going to finish it in 5.
In 5. Okay, so you think a little more. I do too, because it feels like Atlanta can't buy a bucket at all here. So, I mean, Atlanta.
Well, they're forcing Trae out of his comfort zone. You know, when Trae's not a factor, you know, nobody else can really make a difference. I mean, I know that DeAndre Hunter had a pretty good game, but you know, unfortunately, that's not enough.
Right. And when you hold the Hawks to 86 points in a game, to me, that's pretty good, especially during the playoffs.
Yeah. That's great. Atlanta, I just feel like they're missing that other guy next to Trae, man. You know how like Steph has Clay. It could be. Steph has Clay, and you know Dame and CJ, like we saw from the years past. I just feel like they don't have that other guy next to Trae. Like when Trae's having a subpar night, who is Bogdanovich? Do you really trust him to get 30?
Kevin
Herter. No, I feel like those are some guards you can move and try to get. A Beal, a Mitchell, maybe a Dame. I don't know.
A Beal would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be. Yes, it would. Yeah, Beal, Trae, Collins.
Trae or Beal?
Who's that?
Who would be the number one, Trae or Beal? Because I like Beal.
Trae would. In my opinion, Trae would.
Yeah, it's Trae's team. It's Trae's
team, but that'd be tough to say.
But Trae have to be willing to play off ball a little bit, which I think would help him. Yeah, exactly. I think that would help him, especially in the playoffs right now, where he can, kind of rest a little bit out there, play more off the ball, and make him more efficient player as opposed to just doing everything off the pick.
If I was Atlanta, I would make some type of trade like that and actually just say, what I want you to do, Trae, is watch Steph Curry's film. Watch Steph and all he does moving without the ball.
That's true, yeah.
But they're going to need a Draymond type too.
They are. Yeah. But I feel like Trae could play like a Steph Curry in that offense with another guard-heavy person that could handle some pressure away or take some pressure off of Trae. And I think that actually really soared Trae to a new level as well. Man, we getting some good stuff. We way over an hour, and we doing good. What about the Bucks and Bulls? Do we even care about that? They're 3-1. Bucks are up 119 to 95. As people are saying, DeFrozen. I had never heard that before, but I thought that was great.
I can't defend DeRozan no more. I can't do it. Jeez. Oh my God. Like I was happy when he had that big game too, and I was like, all right, cool. Even though I still had Milwaukee, obviously dominating the series, I was like, if DeRozan shows the fight, and if he sets the tone, that would be great for this Bulls team. Nope. Not happening.
It just further proves, he's not a number one. And Vucevic, they're gonna have to move him.
I agree.
They're gonna have to move Vucevic. It's not good on the pick and roll. He's just a stretch 5, not a great defender. They're gonna have to try to find a way to flip him, man, because he's a good center.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like Valanciunas a little bit, but he doesn't rebound enough. To me, and also they don't have enough shooters. That's the main thing too. Like DeRozan's a mid-range guy. Levine is more of a mid-range guy. Patrick Williams, Caruso got hurt tonight with a concussion, so he'll probably miss Game 5. They just don't have enough floor spacing out there. So
they don't.
Gentlemen sweep.
Yep, they're done.
All right, guys. I'm trying to finish this up here. So, in times past, we've talked about this, and I keep referring to Amber's receipt that she has. And I keep telling y'all about a notebook. Well, I found my notebook, Nick, and I told you I had a surprise here. I found her notebook. So I'm sharing my screen here. So we're going to go the notebook. We're going to go back a little bit, and I'm going to bring it up to the camera so you can see Eastern Conference standings on 10-7-21, me and Nick. So I'm going to call them out. Nick had the Nets. I had the net. Actually, I'll just go straight down. Nick, you had number 1 Nets, Bucks, Hawks, Heat, Sixers, Bulls, Celtics, Knicks, Hornets, and Raptors in your top 10.
Oh my God, this stinks.
In mine, I had Nets number 1. I had Heat number 2, Bucks, Hawks, Sixers, Bulls, Hornets, Celtics, Knicks, and Pacers. So we both did pretty bad there.
I had the Knicks. I had the Knicks really high.
We both had. Let's see. I had the Knicks at 9. You had them at 8, and they finished at what?
12.
CJ is it 12?
11. My bad.
Okay, even better. I had Magic, and you had Pistons coming in complete last. I mean, we pretty much got that. I had Cavaliers coming in at 13. We both had Cavs at 13, so they proved us wrong on that one big time. So let's go ahead and scroll back up here to the Western Conference Finals and go through that. Now, we'll start with you again, Nick. Nick had the Nuggets as the number 1 seed, followed by the Suns.
Wait. I had the Nuggets at number 1 without Jamal Murray.
Yes.
What is wrong with me, bro?
It was a hot take.
Jeez.
But you got the Nuggets, the Suns, Lakers, Jazz, Clippers, Warriors, Mavs, Grizz, Blazers, and Kings in your top 10.
That's wild.
I had the Suns, the Nuggets at 2, so I'm right there with you. Lakers at 3, Jazz at 4, Clippers at 5, Warriors at 6, Mavericks at 7, Blazers 8, Grizzlies and Spurs at 10. So you had the Wolves in last place, Nick.
I did. Oh my God. I still have to apologize for that, man.
You had them
15th. I had them at 15th in the West.
Yes.
You had who? Oh, the T-Wolves. Okay.
Timberwolves. Yes. Of course, I had them at 14, 1 away. I had the Rockets in last, but now let's see. Let me quit sharing this because this is what I really thought was funny. Let me click this. All right. So I found our MVP tops as well. Nick had Joker, Giannis, Embiid, KD, and Steph in that order, which is fair.
Not bad. Yeah.
I'm fair. I'm good with that. I had Embiid.
Top 3, yeah.
Yeah, I had Embiid, Steph, Joker, Luka, and Paul George, who was hurt.
You didn't even have Giannis in your top 5.
I didn't. I did not. Hey, you had the Timberwolves in last. Don't come at me at my Giannis. All right.
I disrespected the hell out of them, man.
So, I think it's fun to look back and see what we thought and see where we're at. But I will say this. I'm happy I had the Heat at number 2, which they finished 1, and we all thought the Nets were like the gods. And then I had the Suns at number 1, and they are number 1. So I did good. You had the Nuggets and who else? And
I don't even remember.
And then
in the finals?
No. It's your number 1s. East.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. I'm like, whoa. I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, that's all that or at least I wrote down. So, how do you think we did?
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have always been worse.
We could have had the Rockets as like the 3 seed.
Do what?
We could have had the Rockets as like the 3 seed or something.
We could.
I mean, I did have the Lakers as a 3 seed, and then they ended up onto the 11 seed. So,
I think everybody in the NBA media, whatever you want to call, had that though. So
yeah,
that's like everyone doing their March Madness brackets and having Kentucky up there.
Oh yeah,
so
just get bounced in the first round.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have to say that part. I was just going to say picking. Golly. Listen, guys, we're an hour and 23. Y'all got anything else you want to talk about? I've actually had a lot of fun on this show, just talking about everything. Anything else?
We covered everything.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. How can everybody find you on social media? What you got going?
follow me on Twitter at Nick Andre ATR. Very active on NBA Twitter from there. And check out the link tree. You'll see everything: articles, podcasts, guest pods. Just check it out.
Yes, sir. Guard Up Podcast on Instagram at Guard Up Pod. Dropping content daily, NBA content covering the playoffs, giving reactions to the games. Make sure you guys check it out. Linktree as well, /CJames9, Colorcast, CJamesUSN. On Twitter, CJ.James9, and on Twitch as well, CJ versus the World.
Sounds good. And just going to go ahead and do a little shout out on that Guard Up on Instagram. Watched the clip on that, and I was amazed by watching that. He's got this reaction going on with the clips, like highlight going from. I'm like, yo, CJ, how'd you do this, man? Because I can't even record on my phone half the time. Taking pictures, trying to record my kids. So it's some pretty good stuff. I like it. I'm impressed. And it's probably the simplest thing CJ's thinking. Like, can't believe he's impressed by this, but you know what? It's me. But with that being said, follow me on Twitter, MDLawson00. That's pretty much anything social media. Link in the bio with my link tree. I don't know what face the Joker was just making right there, but it was crazy. Sorry, got distracted there. Also, follow us on Twitter with CountBucketUSN with all of our platforms we got going on with that as well. Podcasts on all social medias. And that really about has it. Thursday, I've got also another show. Backstop Banter 9.
Backstop Banter.
Yes, sir. So go check us out. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Deuces.
Deuces.